This is problem 6D on the sample test problems for test number 1. A large hotel offers the following group discount on room rates. The regular price for a room is $120, but for each room rented, the price decreases by $2. For example, one room costs $118, 2 rooms cost $116 times 2, which is $232. 3 rooms cost $114 times 3 equals $342, and so on. A group rents a set of rooms for a total of $1,750. How many people could have been in the group? So I feel like the very last part of that tells me what I should let x equal, number of people in the group, or the number of rooms rented. I think we're assuming those are the same thing. Okay, so let's see if we can't figure out the pattern here. We've got two numbers multiplied together to give me the total cost. So the first number has something to do with the cost of the room. Regular price for the room is $120, but then it starts to decrease depending on how many rooms you rent. So it decreases by $2 for each room that you rent, by $2 for each room that you rent. X was the number of rooms that we rent. So 120 minus 2x. This thing right here is the cost per room. And if you wanted to check real quick, for example, if you plug in x equals 3, you'll see that you get $114 in the parentheses. And then you're supposed to multiply that by, in this case, 3, by the number of rooms that you rent. That's just the cost per room that we've got there. And we're supposed to multiply by the number of rooms that we rent, which we have called x. So I think we're good. I'm just going to write this in English, and then we'll have it. So this is the reduced cost per room. And then you multiply that by the number of rooms that you rent. Okay, and so multiplying those two things is supposed to give me the total cost. It was $342 in that example. But I know that in this example, the total cost is $1,750. So this is equal to $1,750. And this is the equation we have to solve. So we'll distribute on the left-hand side. And that's a quadratic, and normally we like quadratics equal to 0. I also like my leading coefficient to be a positive number. So I'm going to bring everybody to the right-hand side and make a 0 on the left. So it used to be negative 2x squared, so add 2x squared to the right, to both sides. It was 120x, subtract 120x from both sides. It was 1750. It has stayed there. It's still positive 1750. So here's the equation. I'm going to go ahead and divide everything by 2 just to make the numbers a little bit smaller. Divide everything by 2, both sides of the equation by 2. You don't need to do this, but I like to do it if I can. 0 divided by 2 is still 0. That's x squared minus 60x plus, and then 2 goes into that, let's see, 8, and then 7, and then 5. Okay, so if you can factor this, then I guess you should. If not, then quadratic formula. I don't see how to, I just don't know how to factor 875 and get a 60, but I'm sure it does factor. So if you see it, then that's great. So we'll use our quadratic formula. And then we'll plug in. So negative 60 plus minus square root of b squared negative 60 squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2a. Okay, so let's see if we can do some more here. Equals, that becomes a plus 60 plus minus square root of 60, negative 60 squared is positive 3600. Be really careful if you're going to type that into the calculator that you put parentheses. And then we need 4 times 875. So minus here, so what do we get? think that's 3,500, all divided by 2. So this is 60 plus or minus the square root of 100 divided by 2. And so if you wanted to use your calculator on this problem, I just want to show you so that you're careful when you do it. Okay, I'm going to type in this part right here in the parentheses, that negative 60 squared. Negative 60 squared minus 4 times 1 times 875. I said you get 100. According to what I've typed in, you get negative 7,100. This is the part where I was saying you got to be really careful. If you want negative 60 squared, that negative 60 needs to be in parentheses. I'll do second entry. That retypes the previous line. And then I need to insert parentheses. So we do second, insert. You can see INS right there, parentheses. Scroll to the right, just to there, and then we need to insert more parentheses. Second, insert, close the parentheses. This is typed correctly, and it should give us the 100 that I got before. But it's so easy to type in the first thing. Make sure you put parentheses. Okay, so then all we have to do is calculate our final numbers here. So this is 60 plus or minus, and the square root of 100 is 10, divided by 2. So we've got two different branches here. 60 plus 10 divided by 2, and 60 minus 10 divided by 2. So that's 70 over 2, which is 35 people, or 50 divided by 2, which is 25 people. Turns out that both things are possible, which seems quite strange that we don't know how many people were in the group, but it turns out that if you either have 25 people or 35 people, the total cost of all the rooms will be the same. It'll be $1,750.